In this video, I will be discussing the Paut Neteru. In a previous video, I mentioned that I use four main sources to assess, analyze, feel, plan life, my life. Four main sources, those being universal and natural laws of the universe, the 12 disciplines of mind, the Paut Neteru, and cosmic law. This video will be focused on how I use a brief introduction on how I use the Paut Neteru. I'll give one main example. Well, first I'll explain all 10 spheres, 11 if you include Amen, and I do. All 11 spheres and a brief meaning of the spheres, and then I'll discuss how I use them. And this particular diagram, I've seen others. This particular diagram is, I believe, was the brainchild of Nefer Amen, who's the author of the Medu Neter series of books. Yeah, so I use this Paut Neteru diagram, also known as the Paut Neteru, in all aspects of life, because just this one diagram is, I think, everything in life can be explained with this one diagram. But I can say the same thing for the other four sources. Each of those four sources that I use covers all of life. And I've tried to decipher it and try to find something that it doesn't cover, but it's not possible. You can try, it's not possible. Let's go right into Amen and what that represents. Okay, so briefly, Amen is the consciousness or the will of the Supreme One. Some may call it God. The One, the Almighty One, the Father. There's a lot of names for Amen. I'm going to use Amen to represent whatever term you feel most comfortable using. Amen is the undifferentiated. It's the source of all. Anything that can be is coming from the infinite Amen. Infinite meaning no end. If you were to take 10 to the 5,000 bits, objects, or ideas from the Amen, you haven't even scratched the surface. Okay, there's more remaining than you took out, and it can't be taken out. Just to kind of put things into perspective, the Amen is the unlimited, and I don't know how to put it. Okay, so all and anything that can be is coming from the Amen, and the Amen is you as well, because you're not separate from the Amen, and it's not possible for anything to be separate from the thing that is its source. Okay, it's very very egotistical, I'll put it. It's very self-grandizing to think that you may be separate from Amen. You being separate from Amen would make you a counterpart, and we know that's not true, because there's nothing opposing the Amen. There's only the Amen and all that comes from it. Okay, so that's key to understanding the rest of the chart. Okay, so let's go down to Ausar. Ausar is sometimes represented as Father as well. Ausar is the idea that you are one with all. That goes back to Amen. As law, you cannot separate yourself from Amen. Your consciousness of that fact is represented in this caricature, gotta say it fast, of Ausar, in Ausar. Okay, the omnipresence, meaning that this Ausar presence, the Amen presence, is present in all. I'll use law of correspondence to say that the idea that I can use any one of the four sources to explain all of life will be an example of Ausar being represented in, or Amen being represented in all. And then let's go over to, let me make this bigger, let's go over to Tahuti. Okay, Tahuti represents all knowledge, all wisdom. It's also as the seat, it's known as the seat of the intuition, as you can see there. The seat of the intuition, we have access to all of these spheres at all times, I should say that. So we have access to our intuition at all times. It has been said, and I have read and heard, that the intuition is not accessible to everybody. I would agree to a certain level and disagree on another level. Any disconnection to the intuition is a choice. And by choice, I mean the energy necessary to develop the intuition hasn't been applied. So that choice not to apply it represents a choice, or it also represents a disconnection from the intuition. You must acknowledge this sphere to first have access to it. Although we're all automatically operating based on intuition at some degree. It's more developed in others and not so developed in some. But we also, with all of these spheres, we're always operating in these spheres. But we're always using all of the spheres all of the time in this body.